Love is what ties us all together. But what are the actual biological processes behind the blushing, giggles, and yearning? Today we'll be chatting about the neuromechanisms behind love and how love impacts our current social sphere. And we'll be answering the age old question: is the connection you're feeling real, or are they just in your head? Welcome to BS, a podcast where we take an in depth look at different scientific and social phenomena and innovations whilst tying them back to broader societal perspectives and why you should care. We hope you enjoy the episode. To get prepared for this episode, I listened to my love playlist while I was getting ready.
Afraid to ask further questions.
What does that mean? You hate when I have any type of fun or enjoyment in my life, because what does that mean? How, like,
Listen,
that was supposed to be so cute and wholesome. Like, I listened to my love playlist to get ready and you immediately made it something. How are we started the love episode off with bad vibes?
listen, I'm gonna just keep it at that, okay? But I do love Valentine's Day. That's one thing I will say for
Oh,
sure.
boo. After she
It's
just,
such a
oh, boo.
cute holiday. Honestly, the fact that Valentine's Day erupts so much Twitter beef has always been insane to me. Like, listen, I know why, but it's actually insane because this holiday is literally about love and you are beefing with this holiday of all holidays. Like, I don't care if you love your girlfriend 364 other days. I didn't ask. I didn't ask.
And you beefing with me today. See, she already got me
Right.
in the mood, y'all.
Right.
She already got me in the. Anyways, my love playlist is very, very nice. I've been listening to it since high school. Also, I was saying before we started recording that it makes a lot of sense that I'm wearing pink and Gold is wearing red. I feel like, I don't know if people can tell our personalities that much from watching the pod, but I feel like if you've been listening for a while, like, this probably is very on brand.
Yes, very much so, very much so. And honestly, one of my favorite Valentine's Day memories is actually last year because me and Ilyana spent Valentine's Day together. Mind you, was this revolving sushi place playing in our face? Yes. Did we walk in with no reservations in the middle of a city on Valentine's Day? Yes. But both two, listen, two wrongs don't make a right. Like, they really did not have to do us the way they did. We were just in the car cold, just trying to understand how we got to where we were at.
I was so hungry. Like, I can't even begin to describe. Oh my goodness. My stomach was literally eating itself from the outside. At a certain point, Gold's hair was looking at me. Like, oh my goodness, guys. Like, genuinely, I was so, like, there came a point where I feel like you were talking to me and I genuinely was so out of it because keep in mind, I was actually really busy that day too. So actually, oh my God, Gold, I think that I hadn't eaten that day. Yes, now that I'm thinking about it, I hadn't eaten that day at all. Or if I had something, it was very, very small. So I actually, like, it was quite serious to me to get in. And we were tearing it up. But honestly, that was literally just because of the starvation. It actually wasn't that good to me.
It actually wasn't that good. And that's my gripe with a lot of places in the city where I'm just like, the convenience is there for sure, but I don't understand how you're paying your rent. And there's definitely a further money laundering scheme going on. And while I'm here and before we move on, if you have a grand pre fixed menu whatever on Valentine's Day that adds up to significantly more than what you charge on other days, you're not going to make it in my regime. I'm just putting the warning signs out now.
LOL, you're
I'm
killing
just
me,
putting them
bro.
out now.
I
All
mean,
I see.
that's fair. No, I definitely felt like that meme where it was just like the whole plate was clear and it was like it wasn't even that good for real, but it was actually true. Like, it wasn't even that good for real. My
Literally
favorite
fork
Val
torn and on fire. I don't care. It really wasn't that good.
No, literally. My favorite Valentine's memory. I feel like Valentine's Day is also one of my favorite holidays. I always do something special, whether it's putting hearts in my hair or like literally just listening to a love or something, because I love love, and I also am the type of person who beyond just romantic love, like I love platonic love, I love self-love. Like I'm even gonna do a little self-love weekend for my, what do you call it, Valentine's Day this weekend. But yeah, I think obviously like me and Gold hanging out, that's my bestie, that was real fun. Like it's always great when you don't have a man stressing you out. And then what do you call it, I also feel like one of my favorite Valentine's memories from growing up was that my mom always got me a Valentine when we lived together. And I feel like from an early age, like she really showed me like the holiday does not have to be solely about romantic love. Like it can literally just be and it was always just like a little teddy bear, some chocolates, a mug. But the fact that, especially she was busy and she used to work a lot too, and the fact that she always remembered to get me something for Valentine's Day, like that meant a lot to me. So shout out to
It's
the ones
very,
who
very
had
cute.
Valentine's.
But yeah, guys, keep the love going about like after elementary school, okay? Because honestly, that's probably what got me into Valentine's Day. Like, my greed really knows no bounds. And as a child, I was just like, I'm getting candy, I'm
Well,
giving
yes.
candy. It's a vibe. It's a vibe. Why are we beefing with this holiday? This is a great vibe. Oh, it's
No, there's definitely a Grinch like energy to like not liking Valentine's Day.
but it's also it's a dishonest energy too. Like at least Jim Carrey Grinch, she had a bone to pick with the Who's. What y'all got a bone to pick with is your manager who won't give you a raise because you know you can't buy that girl flowers, and that was my problem. That's unfair. That's really unfair to me. I don't know.
With all of that said and done, we're gonna do a special Valentine's Day episode, as you guys can tell, and we just want to talk about, and it's gonna be very casual. Like this is not gonna be one of them episodes where we go super deep into the technical jargon. We really just want to kind of give a broad overview of all things love, as well as what love looks like in the scientific community. But I'll let Gold start us off to talk about the infamous love hormone.
Yes, as you guys have all heard of oxytocin, like she's popular far beyond the neuroscience streets. Like definitely has gotten like nickname like love hormone. It could be a hormone, it could be a neurotransmitter, any way you slice it. And oxytocin is commonly associated with childbirth. That's where you're going to see like humans produce their max amount of oxytocin. It's essentially released by the pituitary gland, and it has like a positive feedback cycle where like releasing oxytocin kind of ends up with you releasing even more oxytocin. So it makes your the uterine muscles contract, which releases prostaglandin, which makes more oxytocin, and boom, 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 boom. There you go. You got a baby. Um, and oxytocin also just has a lot of influence in terms of being like a bonding hormone. Like I honestly, right after childbirth, I'm not gonna lie, orgasms is up there in terms of human oxytocin release. You definitely release a lot of oxytocin through just hugs, physical touch. It can make you just feel closer to a person. And it also keeps like even in a maternal understanding of bonding, giving animals and their like children a reason to actually like each other, because a lot of these moms, if it wasn't for the oxytocin, they're gonna eat that kid, like period, point blank. Like they literally did a study on like rats and their pups, which is like their baby rats. And yeah, the oxytocin definitely helped with like reducing the fear of your own child, which is so real. Like actually wanting to like breastfeed and take care of them and like not just leave this liability for dust. So,
Okay, so we see that she's very important in terms of getting species to take care of their offspring, as well as just general contentment and feeling. And
mhm.
first of all, what you said with the orgasms, okay, so the girls are enjoying themselves. I love
But
that for them.
listen, it's only
I love
beat
that
by one more thing. So, guys, lock in this Valentine's Day. No more Scorpios.
for them. Bye. Like, but no, okay. It's very interesting. And I know oxytocin is like a huge one like that impacts kind of everything, and that's another thing that you'll find about a lot of these hormones and neurotransmitters is that they're kind of like they're very multifaceted. Like they usually are impacting a lot of different things at one time, and so you definitely can't downplay the effects that they have on your nervous system.
Hmm. For sure, for sure. Honestly, one of my favorite oxytocin studies that, like, for some odd reason, like my neuroscience teacher in like freshman year made a point to like highlight was
Mhm.
like this study about female researchers where they recruited men who are in romantic relationships and either gave them a placebo nasal spray or a nasal spray with oxytocin.
Mhm.
And essentially, the men who had the nasal spray with oxytocin tended to stand a little bit farther away from the female researcher. Like, they're like, wait a minute, hold on. I got somebody who loves me at home. Like, that's really all it took. Like, that's really all it takes. Things like that really remind me that we are just animals, for real, for real.
No, I genuinely think that's so interesting because it's just like, wow, like we're really just like literally chained to our biological responses. Because what do you mean you stand in farther down? And I mean, love that for the girl at home. Like, I have the respect for boundaries. I guess, but I know it's definitely funny when you look into the neurochemical responses for love because it's just kind of like, wow, everything comes back to these same things. In terms of just like general love facts, like, did you know that love at first sight is actually a thing? Because a lot of people are always kind of like trying to like contest it, like, oh, like that's just like a rom-com like trope that everybody's trying, but it actually is a thing. But the thing is, it's that kind of initial attraction, which is just a neurochemical cascade that is basically occurring. Like your brain is just processing a bunch of different physical cues and like non-verbal signals to instantaneously form an impression of someone, and humans can actually do this quite quickly in like under 7 seconds. I think like it's very easy for us to form initial impressions of people, and whether people want to admit this or not, they are forming these connections based off of societal standards. Like usually they can broadly just like, okay, what features are attractive in the general population, whether that's symmetry, somebody's smile, is he tall, like different things like that. They're automatically kind of piecing it all together in like a multi-second process, and that is what is sparking that initial attraction. And then there's also something called eye sharing, which I just found out about today, and it's apparently feel the feeling that you're experiencing the same subjective reality as someone. In like one of the articles I was reading, they basically characterized it as like if somebody does something funny in a coffee shop and you like look up with a smile, and then you like meet eyes with the person across from you and they also looked up with a smile, it's kind of like that feeling that you're like ever present in the moment together, and stuff like that can also kind of lead to the feeling of love blossoming because you feel instantaneously connected to that person. So I think stuff like that is so interesting because it's just like it is love at first sight, but it has less to do with the heart and more to do with the brain. But yeah.
And honestly, even then, and like, that's why, like, I was really into talking about like our pop culture understandings and love and like how we characterize it as well because I was like I always felt like love was a more subjective thing and societal thing than the boundaries that we do have in research and neuroscience and things of the sort. Because I'm not gonna lie, I'm a bit of a skeptic about the love at the at first sight. Like I even try to be Valentine's Day Grinch, especially after I just shat all over them. But yeah, like that was even very interesting for me to learn. Like when I even like saw it off camera, I was like, I don't know how I feel about that.
No, I definitely feel like it's very easy to just be like it's a bunch of baloney, which like once again, it kind of is. Like there's other processes that are going on in the back end. Like I think humans always want to feel like we're very conscious and intentional with the life choices that we make. But sometimes things are really up to chance and circumstance and who kind of was there. Not to take away from the beauty that is love. Like the connection still is real. Like just because it is a bunch of neurons firing or hormones releasing doesn't take away from the fact that like you care about this person and like what's going on is real. But yeah.
Yeah, and like not even to be like that person, but if you want to take away like your brain's role in your feelings, then you're just not gonna have any at all, baby.
No,
Like
literally.
that's listen, some of y'all already there, but that's a whole other conversation. But to honestly, to go even more into that, like feel good feeling and the feeling when you know you meet eyes with an attractive person, when you haven't seen your partner in a while, even when you see your kids or your friends, like this all kind of has to do with the brain's major reward system. Like bringing out another big hitter, dopamine. I know you know that girl. Like I know you know that girl. And
That
honestly,
girl.
I feel like the reason that oxytocin and dopamine are some of the more like popular neurotransmitters in just like the like societal knowledge is because of how they make you feel, like, and that's just what people would actually be interested in, like dang, that feels good.
Mhm,
And
for sure.
essentially like there's multiple like cycles and feedback loops in the brain, and one of the main ones for your reward system is the VTA and the nucleus accumbens. So basically the VTA is the ventral tegmental area, and it produces dopamine and then sends it towards the nucleus accumbens, which honestly gets a lot of input from multiple areas of your brain, like beyond the VTA, and just the larger spectrum of the prefrontal cortex, which does a lot of your reasoning, your decision making, etc., etc., also goes to the nucleus accumbens. Okay, your hippocampus and your memory also goes to the nucleus accumbens. Your amygdala and your emotion also goes to the nucleus accumbens. So, like when you combine all of those things, that person who makes you feel good, you've been with them for multiple years, like you like again your reasoning, your decision making, and like you're also putting in like that emotion and your amygdala and things like that, like that nucleus like she's handling a lot,
Wait,
okay.
I
And
must chime in though for the non neuroscience majors. What is the nucleus accumbens? I'm like,
basically
shout out to
like
the nucleus accumbens.
it's
She's the
basically
project
like a
manager.
very
But what she
big,
got going on?
it's like a very big part of your brain's like reward system. So like when you are getting all of that dopamine from the VTA because you know your crush touched you on your thigh and you didn't even know how to act, you was like the "Woo, girl," like it can help with like decision making and kind of like craving that like want and desire again. Like it's the same feedback loop you see with addiction, okay? Like you took that line, your nucleus accumbens was like,
Bye. First of all, we cannot
I'm
relate to
getting
that
another
feeling.
one.
We
Like,
cannot relate to
okay,
that feeling. But second of all, but you would be surprised. Even like, I don't think people realize how closely the thing, like the regions of our brain that are activated in terms of like love and pleasure and like drug addiction is like it's like right behind it in terms of the door. It's like right there, especially because certain regions of our brain are more active when we feel pleasure, including like love as a feeling and emotion. You already touched on the what do you call it? Ventral tegmental. But then there's also the caudate nucleus.
mhm,
And I think both of these places produce dopamine actually.
yeah. And honestly, yeah, so if you're wondering why you want to keep texting the text man, even though he's no good, okay, Miss Nucleus accumbens in your prefrontal cortex already decided that that felt good the first time, girl. Like,
Once again, we do not sponsor any of this activity.
just know you're not crazy. You're still wrong, but you're not crazy. You're not crazy. Like, it's proof is in the pudding. Like they've
No,
even done
literally.
fMRI studies where they can look at your brain and look at just the blood flow, which translates towards activity. And you know, when they show a picture of somebody's loved one or somebody's romantic partner, you see it light up in the ventral tegmental area and the nucleus accumbens. So it's like very strongly supported that these are a lot of the basis behind, again, that warm fuzzy feeling, the craving of love, the crazy things we do to seek it out, like
Oh,
Hinge.
for sure.
So
No, literally. The ventral tegmental, I think it also belongs to the brain's reward circuit, which has a lot of other big hitters in there. Like, I'm talking the amygdala, the hippocampus, like the prefrontal cortex. So, like, all of your brain's front runners that you've probably heard out in the media, like, are involved in this reward kind of circuit that you get in terms of like dopamine, which I think is very, very interesting.
Yeah, and honestly, even with the amygdala, like I think when I was first learning about love and romantic feelings, I thought it was going to play such like a huge role because like I feel like when I first learned about the amygdala like back in like high school, I'm thinking amygdala emotions. But it shows that oftentimes the amygdala activity on fMRIs is actually quite suppressed because it deals with so many things regarding fear, anxiety, like looking out for yourself, and you are quite literally letting your guard down with this person. And that's part of the reason it feels good. And that amygdala suppression is shown because you're not afraid, you're not anxious, you're not stressed. Like that safety and that capacity to let your guard down is a part of the love you feel, which
Oh
I love.
no. I literally at first I was surprised when I saw that like while reading like doing research for this EP, this pod. I never know what to call it. This pod. But what do you call it? I thought I was surprised, but then I realized like I guess it makes sense, especially since the amygdala is really huge on I guess those more negative fight or flight kind of activating your sympathetic nervous system kind of reactions. But yeah, I thought that was interesting because, like you said, I thought she might have been a bigger hitter in this conversation, but there's other regions that seem to be more active. Also, funny story, one time for like a extracurricular I was involved in on campus, I did like a little presentation about it was something about like emotion. Oh yeah, like emotions and logical decision making, and like it was like for something that I was doing, and I got up there and I pronounced the amygdala, because it had been a while since I had
Okay,
like
come on,
taken it.
Elphaba.
Listen, and then after I'm walking with my friend back to like our like we're on campus and we're just walking, and she's like, "Wow, that's the first time I've ever heard anybody call the like say the amygdala that way," and that's when I realized I fucked up. But you know what? Nobody made fun of me, and nobody ever mentioned to me, so it's cool. But I thought that was hilarious because why would I say it like that? Especially because I knew it was pronounced the amygdala before, and I think I just forgot. But yeah.
That reminds me of in high school and hearing this girl pronounce Sri Lanka as Senior Lanka. Like I still
Wait!
like girl, when I
I
tell you
forgot.
that is
Oh my god, I completely
incinerated
forgot
in
about
my
that.
brain.
I
Like
completely forgot about that. I think I remember who you're talking about too. We actually weren't serious at all because I remember just being like, girl, no way. Girl, no way.
you know when you just like somebody presenting to a level that you feel bad because you like, damn, like just airballing all over the place. Like genuinely, girl, if you're out there, I hope you're doing better because
Pull up
like
in the Senior Lanka. Like,
what?
oh my goodness. I gut laughing at this girl who's probably mortified. But no, we all make mistakes. Listen, everybody makes mistakes. Words are hard. Words are hard. So I feel her. Also, I have a pink water bottle today. I thought I should.
Very cute, very on brand.
Right, on brand.
And honestly, I do want to circle back to the love at first sight thing
Mhm.
because, as I do research or just like being in neuroscience and like the way we understand love and then like the social and cultural understanding of it, I think they can be so different sometimes. Like, honestly, I feel like the way love is sometimes like represented in like pop culture in the music in the shows on whatever social media app is like I think so different than how it's like categorized scientifically. So I was just gonna ask like what are your thoughts on like the pop culture understanding of like love and the way that it's represented in pop culture?
No, that's a great question because it's definitely sometimes like a mismatch. And also, I feel like things that people have heightened emotions over, shout out to the amygdala, not the amygdala, people tend to be more territorial and like argumentative about in love and romantic relationships, especially, is one of them. So I feel like that even like less productive discourse is going on because everybody mad. But for me, I think one that I strongly disagree with or I feel like can be mischaracterized is like the idea that love needs to be hard or like hard to an excessive amount. And I feel like that's especially pushed, as we all know, we live in a patriarchal society that's especially pushed onto women, and like the idea that women must endure or suffer through a relationship, and like that almost like solidifies your womanhood and like solidifies like the status of your relationship because like you're suffering for it. But once again, like I'm talking about women, but like it applies to both partners, where once again like this idea that in a romantic relationship, like it like it should be hard. Like it can be hard, and relationships of any kind are hard and require work and require maintenance and require communication and active participation. Like I'm not saying like every single day should be roses all the time. Like you're gonna have fights and argue, and there's going to be periods where like a parent dies or like somebody has to move or like things happen. But the idea that like your regular every day to day should be walking on landmines is one I fiercely disagree with. I even like, as we were researching for this episode, I was watching different videos, and one guy did a TED talk, and his whole lab is based around doing like research on love and romantic connections. And he found actually that couples that, and they had like a 90% like successful prediction rate of couples that were happy and that couples that were going to divorce. And for the couples that were going to divorce, the negative to positive like ratio was 0.8 to 1. And the for the positive couples, the negative to positive emotional ratio was like 5 to 1. And he thought that it being around equal, initially he was like, I can't understand like why it being around equal would be like such a bad thing, because shouldn't that be how it is? But it turns out with the couples that were doing the best, it was like they strongly outweigh in terms of like the positive emotions in relation to the negative emotions. And I felt very validated for that, because once again, like I've said this and people have pushed back, where I was like, love should not be hard. Like relationships should not be hard. You should feel it, especially for romantic relationships that are no shade, like what do you call it, not a requirement. Like I feel like they should not be extreme. Like this person should be adding to your life. Like I don't know.
Girl, and like we can go all the way into like people's fear of being alone, but like I'm gonna keep us grounded where we're at. And I don't know, like I think we're just always in like a culture of the idea that you have to earn something, and love is so pure. It's not scarce. It doesn't need to be rationed. It doesn't need to be earned. And that's just so foreign to literally every other thing that is good in life and every other thing that we experience in life, that we have to kind of like box it into our current societal understandings, because I don't even think sometimes people are ready to handle how powerful love is. Like I know I sound like a youth pastor right now, but stay with me. Like I don't know, even hearing like Celine's songs speak about it in reference to like the materialist and like the idea of like love is like the one thing that capitalism has not touched, like
Mhm.
that that she ate with that. I'll give her that. It may have maybe nicked it a little bit, but like I still think that there's purity in love. Okay. Like I understand that there's again like capitalistic ventures regarding Valentine's Day and other like bouts or bids of love. But yeah, I definitely think again it's genuinely one thing that is free to give, free to take. And we should lean more into that. I feel like my beef with pop culture love is like the idea that love has to be like this, like kind of like obscure and difficult and hard to understand thing. Like sometimes I'm just like, for example, the idea is like, oh, he treats me so badly, but somehow he still loves me. Maybe he don't love you. Maybe like
Cause wake it up. Maybe. Hold your hand with a napkin in between. Maybe.
maybe he dog you out because he don't love you. Maybe he don't have, like, to me I'm just like, I'm not even saying that like life can't be complicated and you can't have like a familial situation where things are bad. Like I'm not even saying that that's not possible, but like genuinely like that needs to be treated more of an as an exception as it should be. They
Mm-hmm.
treating you bad because they don't love you like 98% of the time. Like things like the things that they say, the things that they do, the actions that they take. I feel like because love is like kind of uplifted into this like obscure and like purposefully like hard to understand thing in pop culture, like love is crazy, it drives you crazy, it makes you do things that you don't understand, like it almost kind of excuses things that usually don't make sense because they're just like love don't make sense. And like again, I get that, but to an extent. Line got to be drawn
That's true.
somewhere.
But honestly, maybe look at the reward systems. Okay, babe. Like maybe that dopamine and that oxytocin are really hitting on something. It's gotta be it. Cause I've been asking myself for years why y'all are staying with these low down, ain't no good people, and like maybe like that oxytocin is doing a number on you. I don't know.
Because the dope ain't good for you either, but people are not gonna just stop. So it has to be something. Like,
Exactly. Like, I mean, true. Once again, the reward systems are great for feeling pleasure, but they do get you stuck in a feedback loop. So, prayers out, prayers out. But circle it back to being lighthearted, though. I think off of your original point of like, it doesn't have to be this complex thing. I feel like in a positive light, it's the same thing where it's just like, sometimes that person just thinks of you. Sometimes that person sends you a song. Sometimes it's just a walk in the park. Sometimes for me, like it'll just be like laughing on the couch with my friends or like being on the phone with a friend and laughing out loud. And it's just like simple moments like that. And I'm already a sensitive person. Like Gold knows this about me. I'm a very sensitive and very emotional person. But I'm always like, Ilyana, are you crazy? Like, why are you about to cry over like a simple interaction with a friend where they like made you like laugh or something, or like a simple interaction where somebody perceived you and like something that you love or something like that? And I think it's literally just because like that's love. It's to be seen, it's to be heard, it's to be understood, it's to just be, honestly, sometimes it's just existing in the company of those that you care about. So sometimes I feel like we also overcomplicate it trying to make it all of these things, but like sometimes it's just to be with another person in your company that you care for, and like that can be enough.
yeah, I love that. Like, I love the like whole saying of like when you find like good love, it's actually kind of boring, which is
Mhm.
why I love that like trend of like, so what's new? Just shut the fuck up and eat your food. Like, that is actually true love, guys. Like, you guys were watching the same TikTok I was. Like,
Like me and Gold for like the past 7 years, bro. How long have we known each other at this point? It's getting ridiculous.
oh, girl, time to get that life insurance policy.
Hey, whatever. Back to love. Back to love. Ooh, I circled it back to positive, but we're actually going into negative again because when you feel those intense emotions, like love can even bring you to illness, guys. Like it can make, like, how everybody's like, oh, I'm sick. Like I just saw my girl with another man. I'm sick. You can genuinely get sick because there's something called stress cardiomyopathy or Takotsubo syndrome, but more popularly known as broken heart syndrome. And it's basically where people who were previously healthy and had like no history of any sort of cardiac illnesses experience symptoms suggestive of a heart attack or heart failure. And the prevailing theory of like why this occurs is that there was a sudden release of stress hormones and an activation of their sympathetic nervous system, and that kind of overwhelmed the heart muscles, which temporarily weakened it. Thankfully, it is a temporary condition. Like the effects are usually reversible, I think within like a couple of weeks, and it doesn't leave any like long-term damage as far as I know. But it is kind of heartbreaking that like when you're and oftentimes like it presents like when a loved one unexpectedly like passes away, or like once again feelings of intense heartbreak, grief, or loss can kind of provoke this. And yeah, have you heard of this before?
I haven't, but honestly, it makes sense because one thing stress can just wreck you. Like,
Mhm.
even working in derm, like, you just see people break out in the most nonsensical rashes after like their partner dies, and like again that could be the easier side of things, and
Mhm.
it's even nice that this has some kind of resolution because there is definitely chronic illnesses that can arise from large periods of stress, or and I don't know if this is just folklore, so please, most grains of salt, the idea that when someone's been with somebody for so long, grandma died, granddaddy coming right after. They're ready to
Oh,
go.
fuck, I believe that. I believe that 110. Call me anti-science. Call me like say that I'm like believing in witch doctors and in witchcraft. Like, listen, guys, I do believe in that. It's something about because old people, not to be ageist or nothing, old people can sense death. It's always around the corner for them. It's always in their thoughts, and like they're very comfortable with the idea of it too. Like, it's not even something that phases them the way like me at my 22 years of life, I'm like, death is phasing me. So I genuinely believe sometimes they be having one door out or like one foot out that door, and then your wife of 46 years dies, and like, I don't know, that'll do it. That'll do
That's the thing. Like between
it.
the Prince Philip, Queen Elizabeth combo, and then Jimmy Carter and his wife, I'm not gonna lie. Once I heard President Carter wife was, I was like, yeah, it's up for him. Like FBI, don't shoot me. I'm just saying in general. But I was like, yeah, this might be the last we seen of him. That plus a certain inauguration, I knew he was ready to clock out.
He said it's ghetto down here, y'all. I'll see y'all. I'll see y'all
Ain't
on the
nothing
other
else
side.
here he can do. Okay,
Like
like
he said, you know what? Give me my chocolate pudding to go. Like, like I can't do this no more.
but it's so crazy. But
But yeah, pivoting to our last topic of the day, love is something that scientists spend a lot of time studying because scientists, like, we're always trying to get to the root cause of things. We're trying to understand what's going on, why things occur, and better understand our natural reality around us. But what happens when the scientists are falling in love, guys? What happens when scientific discoveries are happening because of the emotions that we get from love and wanting to make the world a better place for the people that we care about? I first of all take this with a grain of salt because I found this quote and they're saying it's Albert Einstein, and I found it in multiple places. I think it's funny that he phrased it like this, but apparently he said, when you are courting a nice girl, an hour seems like a second. When you sit on a red hot cinder, a second seems like an hour. That's relativity. And I guess he used this quote as like a way to like explain his theory of relativity to people. I think it's hilarious because not Einstein had motion. Like, I'm literally like, right. You was hitting on the girls. Like,
right, I see it.
wait, I was actually gonna say something. I don't know if this is
Hold on, hold it. Like,
no. I see
okay,
it too. I see it too because I went on his site and I like because when I was trying to verify this quote and I like scrolled down to like a younger picture. Einstein was cute, guys. He was really cute. I was like, wait, hold on. Like literally they had like the picture, like the pic, like you know, like the general like public
yes.
image of like what Einstein, like mad scientist, crazy, all that stuff. And then I scrolled down and I saw an older picture of him in a little taxi cab. I said, oh, Albie, what you
Happy
talking
Valentine's
about?
Day to Albert Einstein.
Like, Albie, what you talking about? Like, anyways.
A little crazy, but it's right.
No, he was cute though. But okay, so that was his little quote. I thought that was very interesting. Other things that occurred. So obviously we know about Marie Curie, but she actually won her first Nobel Prize as a husband and wife duo. So her husband Pierre, they both worked together to discover the elements polonium and radium. Actually, he did other research, and then he was like, "Honestly, your research is more interesting," and then pivoted to hers. And I'm like, "Exactly, like as we should all be doing." And his job was to investigate the electrical properties of the crystals. And then she started her doctoral work on radioactive elements. And once he became more interested, he was like, let's just collaborate and work as a team. And so in 1903, they won the Nobel Prize in Physics for their discoveries of those two elements. So another fun example of a couple that worked together to do something great. And I mean, Marie Curie is, I think, one of the probably most popular scientific figures of our time. So she
Honestly, that's
couldn't have
so
done it
cute.
without him. Couldn't have did it without her boo.
Maybe she could have, but he definitely couldn't have done it without her.
You know what?
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
That's real
Girl
cute though.
power.
Like I know somebody heard that and started chefing up something absolutely delectable on Wattpad. And I'm just gonna thank our soldiers right now.
You know what? Heavy on our front line warriors, but let's not get into that today. Another one. This is like once again something that I heard on social media. So obviously we all know the Wright brothers, like American pioneers of aviation, flew the first plane, yada yada yada, bicycle makers, and they were very very cool. First of all, their patent battles was messy, but today's not the day to do it. We'll do it on another special episode. Um, but I heard somebody talk about it on social media where they were just kind of like, you want to know why the Wright brothers were the first to get off the ground and like actually have a successful plane? It wasn't because people weren't trying before them, but it was because of the fact that they were related to each other. So they probably had more of an incentive to make sure that safety protocols were in place and being followed, make sure that they were really developing the technology in a robust way because they didn't want to lose their brother in an accident. And I don't know, that was very, very profound to me because I feel like it really shows how when it comes to the people that we love, we all of a sudden have like a sixth sense of like caution and security and understanding, because we really want to make sure that the world is a safe place for them. I know that their father, when I was researching this, also requested that the brother never fly together when they were doing their demos and like trying to get their contracts and stuff, just because he didn't want to lose both his sons at one time. And so I think there's that like sibling love, there's that father, what do you call it, parental love. We talked about romantic love, but there's been multiple times throughout history where love has spawned scientific innovation and creativity, safety protocols, and I think it's definitely a wonderful thing.
Yeah, and I definitely think science or just innovation, period, in the world of capitalism, it can be a like invisible barrier in terms of collaboration and working together. Because I think at the end of the day, in the back of your mind, there might be the generalized worry about like what these person's motives are and like wanting, especially if you feel like you have something big on your hands, like things can get real dicey real quick. And if y'all know anything about CRISPR eukaryotic patents, like like if you know, you know. And I feel like working with your brother kind of takes down that invisible barrier a little bit more, and just like again, like the amygdala thing, and like having more trust for that person, and having just like being more in, and like just again going all in the thing that you're researching, the thing that you want to do, because you know that you're not going to be, well, in most cases, beefing with your sibling over the patent or the this or the that, or they crossed you, and
Yeah, I definitely think it's always wonderful to see everything that's been invented simply because maybe it didn't exist before, and a husband wanted something for to do something for his wife, or a parent wanted to create something for their child who was disabled or like had specific needs, and that didn't exist, and it's wonderful to see the acts that humans, regardless of nationality, culture, race, gender, like it's something that ties literally everybody together. Every recorded civilization has shown love as like a thing and a concept, and I think that it's really wonderful, and that's why I wanted to end off today asking, what does love mean to you, Gold?
honestly, like I think the older I get, the more I feel like grown and like settled into my answer. And I feel like love has just always meant care to me. I think that, being a caregiver was a big part of my life. I think that growing up, I grew up in a society that was more like show way more than we can tell. Like, not necessarily that this is really for better or for worse, but I definitely think my parents were very much immigrant fruit bowl, and I'll move across the country and throw away my entire life for you. I'll move intercontinentally, throw away my entire life for you, but like I might not be like, good job, honey. Again, guys, don't attack me for better or for worse. But I feel like growing up with that, and also just how strongly I feel about my friends, my family, or even when I think about the feelings that I have for others and humans and society as in general, like why again a child in Palestine matters to me, why like my friend sitting right next to me matters to me, like that like feeling is always going to be attached to care for me. Like it's always going to be attached to the fact that you matter, like what happens to you matters, like your life is directly and just interconnected with mine. Like there is no like moment where that link can be unbreached. And I think that to me, and like the care just reaching a certain level, is when I feel love.
Aw, that's wonderful. Ah, my sensitive little self, like trying to keep it together over here. Beautiful answer. Claps for you. Um, I'm trying to think of what love means to me because I feel like love plays such a big role in my life and like who I am and like what matters to me and how I present myself and how I interact with others. I try to be very careful and conscientious and thoughtful just because you never know what could impact somebody else. And like even just like 2 seconds of thought about what you're gonna say can like help improve somebody's day. What does love mean to me? Like love means everything to me. I think that's the best answer that I can give, where it's just kind of like as humans we are communal creatures. Like we thrive when we have, like you said, like a connection to others, an unbreakable connection to at least one other person. And I think that love is the reason why I've gotten as far as I've gotten. Love is the reason why I have happiness in my day. And this can be love for self as well. Like I'm including that in my thing because it's just like it's love for myself that like I work hard at the things that I want to do, and it's love for myself that I make sure that I take a walk and get some outside breath because I want to take care of myself. It's love for my little brother, it's love for my mom, it's love for Gold, it's love for all my friends, like why I do the things that I do and why I'm motivated to achieve certain things and why I'm empowered to achieve certain things, why I'm equipped to achieve certain things. Having the people that I have around me, yeah, it just means everything to me. I love so deeply, and I feel blessed to be at a point in my life where I feel like I also have a lot of people in my life who love me deeply and who support me deeply and who under once again like to be loved is to be seen, is to be understood, is to be heard, and like having people who truly like get me and get it, like that is just a special thing that cannot be replaced. I truly wish love for everyone. I think everybody is deserving of it. I think if you're ever out there feeling like you're unlovable or like love is something that's not for you or you don't have a community, like I really truly believe you will find your people, you will find your tribe that will be there for you. Like the village is always waiting, you know, like the village is always
Mhm.
waiting and the village can always grow. But yeah, I'll end there before I get even more emotional. But love is
I was
everything.
about to say, like, I could see you already welling up, but no, you're so cute, and you're also so right. Like, you put it in such like good terms to me. Like, love is just one of the most human things that you can do to me, to do, comma, to me. Um, but yeah, guys, like, happy Valentine's Day. Hug your family, kiss your neighbors, and tell your Uber driver that you love them.
Like, come on now. Don't be a Valentine's Day Grinch. If there's anything golden I should have convinced you of this episode, just be fun. Let's just have fun. Do something fun. Eat some dumb chocolates. I don't know. Watch a rom com. Do some.
Do something, girl.
But with that, we want you guys to always remember to remain curious, remain educated, remain critical. Required reading with all the fun love facts that we've listed out today is listed in the description box. And we hope you guys have a good one, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.